And we're back tonight with more local news. Customs officers arrested 4 people yesterday after seizing 54 kilos of cold medicine, which could be used to produce methamphetamine. As Rachel Lung reports, the remedy contained a high concentration of a chemical used to produce meth.
Officers found the 48 kilos of cold medicine in 2 suitcases belonging to a passenger who arrived from Egypt yesterday. Customs officials explained the remedies contained a chemical which could be used to produce methamphetamine. After leaving the airport, the men then delivered the luggage to 2 men in Shengshui. Officers also stopped a parallel goods trader in the area, allowing authorities to seize 6 kilos more of another kind of cold remedy. 4 men were arrested in the operation. Customs officials explained how the syndicate worked.
The syndicate was well organized, with clear distribution of work among different members. One member will recruit courier to smuggle cold medicine from Egypt to Hong Kong, while the other would arrange to have this cold medicine smuggled from Hong Kong to the mainland by parallel traders.
Custom officers said the smugglers bought the cold medicine in Egypt because it was cheaper and easy to buy in large quantities because of lax regulations there. They then hid the pills in these tea bags, which they brought along with them in hope to escape detection. Officers said the seized medicine had a high concentration of a chemical which could be used to produce 15 kilograms of meth, with an estimated market value of nearly $10 million. The medicine was intended for sale on the mainland. All 4 suspects will appear at the Fanlang Magistracy on Monday. Rachel Lang, TVB News.
The government has defended its decision to tighten the regulation of beauty treatments. Officials say requiring registered doctors to carry out high-risk procedures is not a biased move. Evelyn Lung reports.
Requiring registered doctors to carry out high-risk beauty treatments such as Botox injections and skin whitening treatments. These are just some of the proposed regulations unveiled by the government-appointed steering committee yesterday. This follows the death of one person who underwent a high-risk blood transfusion treatment at a beauty salon last October. Many welcomed the steering committee's recommendations.
That seems to be a fairly sensible idea.
If it's not good doctor and they do beauty treatment, I don't know if it's they have a good result.
But there has also been some criticism, saying the government's decision is biased. Director of Health Constance Chan insisted today that the recommendations aren't meant to benefit doctors or any particular industry. Doctors who carry out these beauty treatments will have to prove they have enough training in this area before they can perform these procedures. The Medical Council of Hong Kong will work alongside the Department of Health to ensure this happens, Chan added. The government says this is not the end. Authorities will keep a close eye on any new beauty treatments that appear on the market. And if these new treatments are classified as high risk, they will also have to be carried out by registered professionals. Evelyn Lang, TVB News.
More teenagers are seeing psychologists or psychiatrists in Hong Kong. But as Vicky Kong reports, experts think schools aren't prepared for students' psychological problems.
Ever since Afar saw videos of a digestive tract choking on food, she's been afraid to eat. Her fear affects her health and her performance at school. Afar said even if she's hungry, she'll only take a few bites of food. It leaves her tired and uncomfortable. Doctors later diagnosed her with anxiety disorders. Fearing discrimination, Afar wouldn't tell her school about her condition. In the last academic year, about 25,000 children and teenagers sought consultations. That's 3,500 cases more than the year before. What's more, it takes up to 1 year for these patients to schedule an appointment at public hospitals. 70% of these youngsters have special education needs, such as autism, short attention span, and hyperactivity. The rest are people who suffer from problems such as depression, early psychosis, and anxiety disorders. The Education Bureau made clear that schools play a supplementary role when it comes to helping students with psychological needs. The authority says it's provided the institutions with guidelines, one of which suggests schools station social workers and psychologists on campus. But some experts think the instructions aren't clear enough. They also think the authorities should force all schools to hire full-time psychologists if things get worse. This psychologist said she encountered a case where a child needed to attend class with his parents, but the principal was unsure about implementing this arrangement because guidelines did not assert such plans. Vicky Kong, TVB News.
In overseas news, Greek police say two people were killed in a drive-by shooting outside the offices of Greece's far-right party Golden Dawn. Another man was wounded in the attack, which happened last night in the Greek capital of Athens. The government and opposition parties, who have distanced themselves from Golden Dawn for its extremism, were quick to condemn the attack. Officials believe the attack was carried out by a group on the far left of Greece's political spectrum. The Mexican Senate has approved a tax on sugary drinks and junk food as part of a campaign to fight obesity in the country. Mexico is considered one of the most obese countries in the world. It has the world's highest yearly soda consumption, with the average Mexican guzzling over 160 litres of soft drinks annually. That's slightly higher than the average American consumption figure. Yesterday, the Mexican Senate approved a 1 peso per litre tax on soft drinks. An 8% tax was also passed on snacks, sweets, ice cream and other non-basic foods with high calories. The lower chamber of Congress had already approved the taxes. Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto proposed a tax to fund weight control efforts in the country. He called for a change of culture, encouraging his fellow Mexicans to exercise at least 1 hour every day. The government also wants to use the tax income to install water drinking fountains in schools, most of which don't have them. Soft drink taxes have been used or considered elsewhere in the world, including France, Norway and some US states. But analyses of them have found mixed results on people's drinking habits. All right, Tony, over to you for sports.
That's right. We've got tennis to begin with, and it was like old times. Nadal, Federer and Djokovic are all through to the semi-finals of the Paris Masters. While Nadal has won a record 8 French Open titles, he's seeking a first at this tournament. Here's Jameson Wong.
The world number one set up an all-Spanish semi-final with a 6-4, 6-1 win over Frenchman Richard Gasquet. Rafael Nadal takes on friend David Ferrer in the last 4. Roger Federer avenged last week's loss in Basel to Juan Martín del Potro, beating the Argentine in 3 sets, 6-3, 4-6, and 6-3. It was his first win over a top 10 player since January.
Yeah, it's been a while, you know, but I've had some decent matches, you know, along the way, maybe against less famous players than Juan Martín, and so I'm happy it worked out well today. And like I said, I think it was a good match from start to finish, and it's definitely good for my confidence because those are the kind of wins I need right now.
Federer will play Novak Djokovic for a spot in the final. The Serb beat another Swiss, Stanislas Wawrinka, in straight sets 1 and 4. The former number one has won 15 straight matches. Jameson Wong, TVB News.
Hong Kong's Marco Fu has qualified for the International Championship snooker final in Chengdu. The 35-year-old defeated Joe Perry 9-8. The Englishman led 5-3 at the interval, but Fu came back in the evening session with breaks of 88 and 72. Fu will be playing in his 6th ranking event final of his career. He will take on either crowd favourite Ding Junhui or Scotland's Graham Dott in Sunday's championship match. NBA and the Minnesota Timberwolves upset the Oklahoma City Thunder to improve to 2-0 on the season. Minnesota's Ricky Rubio had 14 points and 10 assists. Teammate Kevin Love also had a double-double with 24 points and 12 rebounds. The final score was 100-81. Three-time NBA scoring champion Kevin Durant was held to just 13 points on 4 of 11 shooting. The Thunder dropped to 1-1 on the young season. And moving on to Formula One, and there's no stopping Red Bull's Sebastian Vettel. The 26-year-old German has dominated practice ahead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Vettel, who wrapped up his 4th straight Drivers' Championship last weekend, is chasing his 7th consecutive race win this year. He also has a chance to match Michael Schumacher's record of 13 wins in a single season.
And finally for tonight, Sotheby's auction house gave jewellery lovers a sneak peek of the rare pink star diamond in New York last night. The world's largest pink diamond is set to fetch more than $60 million at auction later this month. According to one Sotheby's official, the pink star diamond was discovered in Africa in 1999. It's never been up for public sale before. Sotheby's said the diamond's pink colour was probably an accident when it was being formed. The 59.6 carat jewel will be auctioned off in the Swiss city of Geneva on the 13th of this month. And that's the news for tonight.
Thanks for watching. Good night.
Good evening. The weather was cloudy today. And as tonight's situation chart shows, Typhoon Crosser is estimated to be about 280 kilometers southeast of Hong Kong. It is forecast to move west or west-northwest slowly across the northern part of the South China Sea. Today's temperatures range from 24.9 to 27.5 degrees, and the relative humidity was between 60 and 67%, moderate to fresh eastern northeasterly winds. The current temperature is now 26.4 degrees Celsius, with the relative humidity standing at 67%. The standby signal number 1 is now in force. So, Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow? It will be cloudy with a few showers tonight. Temperatures will range between 23 and 26 degrees tomorrow. It will be windy on Monday. Tomorrow's API is forecast at 40 to 125, and the pollution level will range from medium to very high. And the maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 3. And here's the latest global weather update. Showers in Shanghai and Xiamen, rain in Taipei. Showers in Guangzhou, Macau, and Chengdu. Sunny in Beijing, cloudy in Seoul and Tokyo. Showers in Bangkok, rain in Manila. Thunderstorms in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, showers in Jakarta. Sunny in New Delhi, Karachi and Mumbai. Sunny in Cairo. Sunny in Brisbane, showers in Melbourne and Auckland. Cloudy in Toronto. Rain in Vancouver, sunny in San Francisco and Los Angeles. Cloudy in London, showers in Frankfurt and Zurich. And that's the weather. Have a lovely evening.